This is actually one of my favorite images, one of my favorite poster images. This was created by an artist in San Francisco, and part of the coalition of exhibitions has been to exchange posters. Kind of a fundamental grassroots component of the coalition is a poster exchange program. That's the best way to articulate it. And we've produced many of them here in New York, and they've been produced all over the country and shared with venues around the United States. And about a half a dozen exhibitions or so are just posters, where groups have contacted us and said, we don't have the time or the resources to put together an artist exhibition, original art exhibition, but can we get posters? And we've done that. And this particular poster was sent to a venue in Muncie, Indiana, a college there, and apparently it drew some serious criticism from people that saw the show, which resulted in the president of the university stepping in and asking that this piece be removed from the show. So,
is that what happened?
I think it may have been removed from the show. There are a lot of censorship issues. Some exhibitions have been called off entirely. There was a law school in San Francisco, actually in Berkeley, that had requested a show for. Like to hang in, it wasn't actually at Berkeley. It was another school in Berkeley with a law school, and I believe, and a request had been made to assemble a group of posters for a show in their library. Right. And when the political content of some of these posters was like seen, it seemed to, deemed to be revealed. It was deemed to be a better idea to not, they didn't want to offend anybody, which was a big disappointment for us.
Right there in Berkeley, in the Bay Area. That's hard to believe.
Should we go to the next one?
Well, there's a lot more going on there.
Yeah.
This is actually a wonderful piece. It's an original piece of artwork. It's a screen print done by a young female artist in Chicago named Jessica Muir. And it is her brother, I believe, who has served or is still serving in Iraq, and it has a very strong and kind of personal feel to me. This is one of the most beautiful
maybe,
pieces.
Paul, you should take it up because the detail on the background is, I'm not sure if it's going to read from far away, but it's really beautiful. There's airplanes and doves and
it's really
crosses.
Quite a remarkable piece, and
some machine guns.
This was done by an artist who's actually showing this work and participating in the joint Chicago Artists, New York Society of Etchers Art of Persuasion exhibition at Loyola University, which brought me here for the first time a year and a half ago.
Right.
And Jessica created this poster for exchange throughout the coalition, and it's been very, very, very well received, and it's a beautiful piece of artwork and a very personal piece. It's about a family member who served in Iraq, and it neither has, Paul, I will point out, a left or right message to it. It's just simply a very personal feeling about, my brother is serving in
now this is, oops, I've got two
in Iraq.
Now here we have a couple of your pieces, which I think is interesting for people to see
Stephen Frederick.
the kind of work that you do.
This is, I'm particularly interested in the loss of civil rights as that we've experienced here in New York. And this is kind of a takeoff on a 40s era almost movie
like
poster,
film noir
but
type of
film noir, and very much so. But I think the average New Yorker that's walking the streets just doesn't get a real sense of how We are vulnerable to random and unprovoked searches in the subways today. There are tens of thousands of security cameras in New York that have been paid for today by dollars from Homeland Security. There's the stop and frisk program that Giuliani started many years ago, is still in full force, and that it's making for in my opinion, an environment that is potentially very, very threatening. I've had artist friends of mine, one of whom is participating in the Art of Democracy exhibition at the National Arts Club, who was arrested and detained for 12 hours by the Department of Homeland Security for taking a picture of the skyline of New York from the Verrazano Bridge.
Oh dear.
It is now illegal, for example, to use to take pictures in the subway.
That's correct.
And one of the things that bothers me about it is that there are no signs anywhere
To say
that says you're not allowed to
this.
take a picture in the subway. So that the feeling I come away from this with is that it can be
Well, I don't
maybe
think-
not so random and not so accidental, but
I don't think tourists
opportunistic
realize that.
to prey on somebody
Right.
that doesn't know they're making a mistake. Like, how can you arrest somebody for using a camera in a subway if you don't have a big no
Right.
camera sign somewhere?
I think a
Right,
lot
so
of
very
tourists
interesting.
have no idea that you're not allowed to.
Yeah, well, no, of course, I see it all the time, but that's my concern. This is
I would
another...
warn them
Now, this
when I
caused
was a
some more
kid, it was a tour guide for a
controversy.
while.
This is another piece of mine. A big issue to me is to get out the vote and get everybody to vote. And I'm addressing issues that are, again, are of great meaning to me because I believe the Bill of Rights, through various different executive orders that have been the hallmark of the Bush administration, has largely been dismantled, whether it's our rights to privacy, some rights to free speech, or habeas corpus. I think that these ought to be and are serious issues in this election.
Controversy over
Oh.
part of this, wasn't there?
Yes, there was actually.
We're showing right now.
This poster, which I sent a group or a supply of to San Francisco, was actually triggered a censorship debate that's still going on in Berkeley right now at a public gallery called Windows on Addison, I believe, that under some circumstances is under the jurisdiction of the City Arts Commission, who objected to the display of this poster because the F word appears there, and that led to further censoring of the exhibition, or successful attempts to censor the exhibition of some artwork that included anti-gun messages, for example, and then which led to there was an image of a Statue of Liberty-like figure holding a sword that was deemed to be too risky, too violence-oriented to show to the public. So.
Now tell us a little bit about your artwork from an artist's perspective. You're an etcher,
Yes,
which is a printing technique,
yes.
and
This one is actually a play on an earlier piece that I had done about voting that had serigraph on top of it, though this time I etched the word vote in it, and this has a surface roll. So this is a multiple state fine art printmaking technique that I work in and of course enjoy working a great deal. So I produced this image in a limited edition of about a half a dozen prints, and from which I selected one to create the poster for the Art of Democracy.
because each
exchange.
print can come out slightly differently.
And they do in this, and that's part of the fun. And they do come out. There's some variety, and accidents happen, and it makes them,
What's
Sometimes
the
it's
process?
good.
Very
Oh,
unique.
you went and saw the process.
I did. After the last
And it
show,
was
Stephen
fascinating.
took me to the studio and showed me